Dixon Street, Chinatown, Sydney, preparing to see out the year of the monkey and see in the year of the rooster. It's early this morning and the staff of the Dixon restaurant are having their New Year's Eve party and a rehearsal of ceremonial dances for tonight. Some of the Chinese here are fifth-generation Australians, but others have been here only a few months.
In a moment, I will give you an old Chinese traditional weapon dance. I haven't practiced for many years.
It could be Hong Kong or Taipei, but could it be Peking? Not all of Sydney's 5,000 Chinese were watching lion dances. About 200 spent last night watching films in another room in Dixon Street and afterwards dispersed into the night. They, the intellectuals, must continue to remould themselves, gradually shed their bourgeois world outlook and acquire the proletarian communist world outlook. The seizure of power by armed force, the settlement of the issue by war, is the central task and highest form of revolution. Well, those slogans from Mao Zedong in last week's Peking Review sound quite familiar. But what would you think if you found a group of Chinese sitting around avidly reading these slogans in a back room in Sydney? Well, in fact, this is exactly what happens in this quaint little hall with its ping-pong tables and revolutionary wallpaper. This is the headquarters of the Chinese Youth League, a small group which describes itself simply as a social club with an allegiance to the motherland. Many Chinese around here describe it simply as the Communist Club, but the Youth League says it's no different from any other migrant social club. It vigorously denies any subversive activities, and it is in fact a very open organisation. Anyone can walk in here and read exhortations to the workers, and workers like Merchant Charlie, a 62-year-old poor herdsman of the No. 3 production team of the Yuachin livestock farm, who at the very mention of the old society burns with a bitter hatred, but when talking of the present, he cannot keep from shouting, "Long live Chairman Mao." The League's president, a Chinese businessman, speaks with disarming frankness. He didn't want to be interviewed on camera because he said the League's persecuted enough as it is without exposing itself further. And the members, who mostly have relatives in southern China, didn't want to be seen because they fear repercussions, even deportation. The president says that these premises are constantly under surveillance of Australian security officers, and he freely admits that some members are quite proud of China's progress and consequently are harassed by immigration authorities. And he adds with some humour that he doesn't consider the League's much different from the Australian Wheat Board, which maintains links with Red China, even though the government frowns on the regime. Perhaps the most intriguing thing about this organisation, though, is that it's existed right here since 1939. And since the membership has remained almost constant, one gathers that the spark of revolution has taken a while to ignite in Dixon Street. Or has it?
Well, I reckon Mao Zedong is doing a great job. It's a great job for the Chinese people. But it's always been criticised, his way of handling the situation might be against the democratic way of life that we used to here. But as far as the Chinese people are concerned, I think the solution to solve all the problems in China, I think he's doing a great job. Well, I'm not communist.
Do you all feel that way, incidentally?
Yeah, we do. Well, put it like that. That's the idea of the younger generation.
1969, the year of the rooster, could also be a year when communist China, mainland China, is admitted to the United Nations. Would you like to see that happen?
Speaking as a Chinese, I would like to see that happen, but I've been under sort of living in the communist mainland. I won't like the way the communists governs our mainland.
Are most of the Chinese in Sydney, for example, do you think proud of mainland China and its achievements?
Their feeling are ambivalent, and I think deep inside they are. They're proud of their ambivalent. They fear it, but deep inside they love it. You know.
I don't feel there because I left there a long time ago.
I'm not a communist myself. I don't think I'm, subjected to any propaganda in a way, anyway.
Yeah, put it like that. See, back at the uni, see where I studied, see, we have also the publication from China, but we never take it serious.
Whether they're members of the Youth League or not, many young Chinese find it hard to ignore 800 million of their flesh and blood. The year of the Rooster may or may not be the year of recognition of mainland China, but it seems to be what a vocal group like the young students want. In the long run, it's probably their opinion that will count. Sydney's older Chinese have become so Australian in their outlook that tomorrow the paper lion will be dead and forgotten.